I'm Joanna Hester, the chair of the San Diego Housing Commission Board's Audit Committee. It is 8:06 on November 7, 2025, and I'm calling to order the special meeting of the Audit Committee. We are meeting in person this morning with committee members and staff in attendance. We have a quorum of 2 members present. Video of today's meeting is also being streamed live online. The link to watch today's meeting is on the Housing Commission's website at www.sdhc.org. Members of the public who wish to provide comments to the committee will need to complete a speaker slip here in the boardroom and submit it to the Vice President of Communications, Scott Marshall, who is standing at the side of the boardroom. To speak in favor of any items on today's agenda, please submit the gold-colored form, and to speak in opposition, the pink-colored form. Those who wish to address the committee about a topic that is not on the agenda should fill out the white speaker form. Members of the public who will have 3 minutes each to provide their comments about agenda items or non-agenda public comments. However, if a large number of people wish to provide non-agenda public comments or speak on a single agenda item, comments will be limited to 1 minute each. Collective testimony by those who support or oppose an item shall be limited to no more than 15 minutes total per side. When I call your name, please step into the podium. Do we have any public speaker hearing? It looks like we have no speaker slips that have been submitted for the agenda of public comments. So we're moving the agenda to the next agenda is approval of the minutes from the Audit Committee. Is there any speaker? There's no speaker slips. Got it. Do any committee members have any changes to the minutes, or do we have a motion?
A motion.
And I'll second. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a motion by the committee member,
Jackson?
Commissioner Jackson, and committee member Hester to approve the minutes of the audit. Motion passes, right? Okay. Item 100 is the independent auditor's report and presentation. We will take public comments after the independent auditor's presentation. Our Chief of Financial Officer, Suket Dayal, will be introducing this item.
Thank you, Chair Hester.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to introduce Amadou Bakar, our partner at Cohn Resnick. As we know, in a highly regulated industry, we really appreciate all the guidance and assistance provided by him and his team in this strict regulatory environment. This audit includes an examination of our financial statements, and he provides an opinion on the fairness and accuracy of our statements. With that, I'll turn it over to Amadou.
Thank you, Mr. Suket. Thank you. My name is Amadou Nashar Bokar, and I'm the engagement partner for Cohn Resnick LLP for the San Diego Housing Commission engagement. We did the audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025, and we have issued the reports for your review, the draft reports. We issued a report on the audited financial statements. We also issued separate audits for some of the projects of the organization. We also, as part of the audit, we have the federal mandated single audit that's issued for the federal programs of the Housing Commission. We intend to issue an unmodified opinion, which is just the complicated word for a clean opinion on the financial statements. One thing I just want to say here with respect to the single audit, usually also we expect to issue an unmodified opinion, that one as well. But these times, that audit report may be delayed, and the main reason being the guidance for the single audit is issued by the federal government, the OMB at the White House, and they have not yet issued the final guidance, so the audit cannot be completed for that portion of the engagement until the federal government issued what's called the compliance supplement, which is like what OMB issues as audit guide. But they did issue a draft back in June, and usually by now they finalize it, but it hasn't happened yet. So once that's done, we can coordinate to finalize it. We also issue a communication letter to this audit committee. It just presents basically our responsibilities and your responsibilities in general with respect to the audit result. And it talks about new accounting pronouncements adopted. We had 2 new GASB statements adopted during the year. They did not have any major effect at all on the financial statement. They just related and updated disclosures. I'm going to summarize again. We intend to issue a clean opinion, and I'm here to answer any questions or any comments you may have for us. Thank you.
The committee.
I don't have any comments, or any questions. I looked at the audit report, and I'm glad we're actually having the audit done now. I think in light of the challenges that we are facing with regard to the federal impacts, the audit provides a clear picture that the team's doing a great job of living within the lines and continue with all the appropriate accounting principles. Because it's going to get really tight, so to speak, from a financial standpoint. I think that having the audit done this way, and while the revenues are challenging because of the federal cuts, we're still adding properties, we're still growing, and so I just want to say I appreciate the outlook. And interesting when you were mentioning we may be delayed because the federal government has a hand in this. At some point the federal government actually decide that going back to work makes a lot of sense. But until then, we appreciate your help.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that comment. So there's no other item on this, on item 100. Moving to item 101. The Chief Financial Officer summary report and presentation is on item 101 on the agenda. We will take public comments, but it looks like there is no public comment, no form submitted, so no speaker slips have been submitted for item 101. So this concludes the public comment period. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Hester. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Chair. I'm Suket Dayal, Executive Vice President of Business Administration and Chief Financial Officer. I'm here with Tracy Bryson, our Manager of Finance, Audit, and Reporting. We're here today to present the results of the fiscal year 2025 annual financial audit. We'll start with a quick summary of the annual audit and provide some operational highlights, and then Tracy will dive right into the numbers. Do want to take a step back and just provide some context for the audit. California state law requires that all general purpose local governments within 6 months of the close of a fiscal year publish a complete set of financial statements. As a component unit of the City of San Diego and pursuant to this requirement, we issue the annual comprehensive financial report, or ACFR, of the City of San Diego Housing Commission for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2025. Audit cycle is a lengthy cycle. It lasts 8 months. We start audit testing in March. Then we move to finalizing the statements and the audits, ensuring that the submission of numbers, drafting reports, working with our partners, the city auditors, and then we come here to seek your approval. It does take a village. I would like to recognize the amazing finance team and all the talent. This is truly a tremendous accomplishment. As you heard from Amadou, the goal of the audit was to provide reasonable assurance that our financial statements for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2025 are free from any material misstatements. We are very pleased to have an unmodified opinion and no comments or findings on the internal controls or business processes. This slide kind of shows a lot of our highlights. You are a very active board and you're very familiar with everything on this slide, so I'll breeze through this real quick. Rental Assistance Division, 17,000 vouchers. That includes our special purpose vouchers like FASH, Foster Youth Independence, Family Unification. In the last fiscal year, we also leased 446 project-based vouchers that are awarded to developments. And we also provide services like mobility counseling, career development through our Achievement Academy, and security deposit loans. Our homeless housing innovation programs provide shelter and supportive services to some of our city's most vulnerable populations. Some examples of these programs where we partner with the city are the Housing Instability and Prevention Program, Emergency Shelters, Interim Housing Program, and Rapid Rehousing. We also administer programs using other sources like the HUD Continuum of Care, local funds, affordable housing funds, These cover programs like the inclement weather shelters, permanent supportive housing programs, preventions and diversions, just to list a few. And lastly, in our real estate, as you are aware, we own 153 properties with over 2,600 affordable housing units. Commissioner Mitch talked about acquisitions. In fiscal year 2025, we acquired and rehabilitated Presidio Palms, which created 161 affordable housing units for individuals who experienced homelessness, including transitional age youth. In addition, our nonprofit affiliate arm, HDP, has developed more than 1,700 affordable rental units in the city. We're also a leader in issuing multifamily housing revenue bonds to support new affordable units. And as you're aware, our home ownership team strives to make first-time home buyers not only in our city, but other cities around the county as well. There's a lot to be proud of, and with that, I'll pass it on to Tracy to share the financial report and analysis.
Thank you, Suket. I would like to share our financial results summary. In fiscal year 2025, the San Diego Housing Commission reported more than $562 million in revenue, and expenses were approximately $497 million. A quick comparison in revenues between fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2024. We see an increase in the housing assistance and grant revenues. These are the dark blue and orange color blocks on the graph. A portion of the increase of the grant revenue is related to the $35 million of home key funds, as well as over $17 million of Home American Rescue Plan funds received towards the acquisition and rehabilitation of Presidio Palms. This pie graph shows 2025 revenues by funding type, federal, local, and state. We continue to receive a significant portion of our revenues from federal sources. Funds primarily from both HUD and the U.S. Treasury were more than $423 million, which represents 75% of our total revenues. And a look at expenses over the 2 years. I'd like to note that there was an increase of $30 million in housing assistance payments. This is primarily due to higher average HAP cost per voucher, as well as new project-based vouchers awarded during the fiscal year as part of the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And this chart depicts our statement of net position as of June 30th, 2025, compared to June 30th, 2024. This includes our assets, liabilities, deferred inflows, and net position. The top section is our assets. This reflects an increase as of June 30, 2025 of $79 million. This is primarily related to, again, the acquisition and renovation of Presidio Palms, as well as renovations in other SDHC-owned properties. The lower section shows our liabilities, deferred inflows, and net position. You will note that the total liabilities increased $16.7 million. This was primarily due to a new notes payable from the County of San Diego as part of the Presidio Palms acquisition and rehab. As of June 30th, the balance on that loan was $14.7 million. Net position increased $64.8 million. This was primarily related, again, to the previously mentioned Presidio Palms property and is reflected as an increase in the net investment in capital assets. I would like to take this opportunity to provide some additional details in relation to the net position categories as designated by the Government Accounting Standards Board. Net investment in capital assets, that's our brick and mortar, our properties. It's the cost at acquisition plus building improvements, less depreciation, or any loans outstanding on the assets. Then we have our restricted net position, primarily made up of loans receivable that are federally backed. And finally, as required by the GASB accounting definition, the remaining balance is classified as unrestricted net position. However, this classification does not mean that these funds are available for discretionary use. For example, within the unrestricted net position, approximately $313 million represents existing affordable housing loans. In addition, $107 million represents funds received for board-committed affordable housing loans and programs. The remaining balance includes the contingency reserve required by the city, as well as our repairs and maintenance reserves for our SDHC-owned units. So, even though this is technically classified as unrestricted, these funds have already been accounted for. That concludes our presentation. We would like to thank the Audit Committee for their support, and I would like to reiterate Suket's comments and thanks to the finance team as well as our auditors. This is a significant project, and it cannot be done without the support of our amazing team. We are available for any questions.
Thank you, Suket. And Tracy, are there any questions from the committee? Comments? Mitch?
I would just ask, Tracy, I want to make sure everybody's clear, because there was confusion about this dream budget, and Suket, you know this. The unrestricted net position, make sure that we're clear that this is not money that is just sitting in an account waiting to be utilized.
Correct.
But give a little more depth.
Yeah, that is correct. So we have a lot of obligations that we've made through our NOFAs, through different processes. So all of those are funds that we have and are dispersed only upon completion of milestones for the projects. So while it does seem like a large number, it's a little misleading when you think of it as reserves or why is it sitting unrestricted. Those are committed. It's just a question of when they will be dispersed.
Thank you very much.
Just to add a little bit to that, for the $313 million represents affordable housing loans where we don't have the cash. We have the anticipation of people paying those funds back, but they're not due they have very long terms for that until those payments are due. So in some of those cases, we don't have the cash on hand.
But we're
we
expecting
have the net position
Yes.
that it's a receivable.
Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Hearing no other comments or questions, we're moving to item 102. Item 102 on the agenda is this committee's recommendation to the Board of Commissioners regarding the approval of the annual report and single audit report. The public has been provided with the opportunity to provide comments on the auditor's report and the Chief Financial Officer's summary and presentation for items 100 and 101. So we will proceed now with the committee member questions and comments. Are there any questions or comments about this recommendation? Hearing none, do we have a motion to recommend that the Housing Commission Board of Commissioners accept fiscal year 2025 annual comprehensive financial report and single audit reports?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jackson, second by Commissioner Mitchell. All in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries unanimously. This concludes the Audit Committee special meeting today. This meeting is adjourned at 8:23. Thank you.